Neil McAvoy, leader of the Welsh National Party. There was a really important debate yesterday in the Assembly about the A&E at the Royal Glamorgan. There is some confusion as to how Labour voted, so I want to take you through it to show that their intention was to vote against the permanent saving of the A&E. The person you're going to see now is Anne Jones. She's the Deputy Presiding Officer to call for votes on the debate which took place a few hours before this.
The first vote this afternoon, then, we vote on the Welsh Conservative debate on NHS emergency departments. I call for a vote on the motion tabled in the name of Darren Miller. If the proposal is not agreed, we will vote on the amendments tabled to the motion.
The first vote is on the Conservatives' motion, which basically, reading it here, rejected the Health Board's proposals and asks the government to intervene to save the A&E department. The vote you'll see now is on the original motion without any amendments. You'll see that the vote was lost, although I did vote for it.
Close the vote. For the motion 17, no abstentions, 34 against, therefore the motion is not agreed, and we vote on the amendments.
Because the vote was lost, the amendments are now put to the vote. So we'll take you through those. The Labour Party amendment put by Rebecca Evans deletes the whole motion, the whole Conservative motion, which talked about rejecting the proposal. So Amendment 1 throws out the rejection of the proposals, and it talks about recognising a cross-party statement on A&E, recognising the need for openness and transparency, and recognising that care provision must be robust, safe and sustainable. So it just recognises stuff. The Labour amendment there wrecked the original motion. It doesn't call for the government to do anything at all other than recognise things. So it doesn't actually commit them to anything at all. And that's why I voted against it.
Close the vote. For the motion 28, no abstentions, 23 against, therefore Amendment 1 is agreed.
Unfortunately, the amendment did pass, so that becomes the motion that is then going to be amended again, changed again. So Amendment 2 was from Plaid Cymru, which stated that staff shortages can never be used to justify closures and service changes. So that was very supportive to the Royal Glamorgan. The Labour Party voted against this amendment, so the amendment failed. It wasn't then incorporated in the motion.
Call for a vote on Amendment 2, tabled in the name of Sian Gwenllian. Open the vote. Close the vote. For the motion 23, no abstentions, 28 against, therefore Amendment 2 is not agreed.
Amendment 3 was my amendment, that's the Welsh National Party amendment, which stated that the Assembly supports a permanent, and that was the key word, permanent and fully resourced accident and emergency department at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital. Now, some Labour AMs voted against that. So Mick Antonew voted against permanently saving the A&E department, so did Vicky Howells from Cynnon. A number of other Labour Assembly members abstained. So thankfully, that was won. And then my amendment, the Welsh National Party amendment, became part of the overall motion that was going to be voted on later.
Call for a vote on Amendment 3, tabled in the name of Neil McAvoy. Open the vote. Close the vote. For the motion 23, 14 abstentions, 14 against, therefore the motion is agreed.
So just to be clear, as the record shows, it was Labour's intention to exclude permanently saving the A&E at the Royal Glamorgan. Permanently. Amendment 4 was from Labour backbenchers. I did support it. It was a good amendment. It talked about ruling out the closure. But the key point is that there was no mention of the word permanent. So we would be in a situation where the A&E would be saved until the next election, and then they could come back and maybe look to close it again. And the issue there without the word permanent, without my motion, the one that Labour opposed, there would still be uncertainty, and it would still be difficult to recruit doctors to an A&E department which had been given a stay of execution maybe, but had not been saved permanently. That's why it was really important that the Welsh National Party put that amendment forward to save the A&E on a permanent basis.
And I call for a vote on Amendment 4, tabled in the name of Mick Anthony. Open the vote. Close the vote. For the motion, 33, 18 abstentions. Therefore, Amendment 4 is agreed.
I voted for the Labour backbench amendment, so I voted for the Conservatives motion, I voted for the Plaid amendment, I voted for the Labour backbench amendment. The amendment was passed, and then all the amendments passed, including mine, became an overall motion for everybody to vote on.
And I now call for a vote on the motion as amended. Close the vote. For the amended motion, 32, 18 abstentions, 1 against. Therefore, the amended motion is agreed.
The Labour Assembly members there had the choice of either rejecting everything, so there would be no motion on the Royal Glamorgan Hospital, or accepting my amendment, which they initially voted against and tried to exclude. My amendment was looking at a permanent solution. All backbench Assembly members voted for the motion except Carwyn Jones, the former First Minister, who was the only AM to vote against the motion. The government ministers abstained on the motion, and other Assembly members were not present in the chamber. The reality for people out there to take on board is that the Labour Assembly members present voted against my amendment to make saving the accident and emergency at the Royal Glamorgan permanent. That was the key word, permanent, because they tried to exclude it from the final motion. When the final motion was before everybody, it was a take it or leave it option, and they decided to take it.